Financial stability and its implication for economic development was one of the themes of the Third Bankers Committee annual retreat held in Nigeria at the weekend. The event was attended by stakeholders and regulators in Nigeria's financial sector. The meeting also gave insight into the economic headwinds in the year ahead. Our Nigerian team was there.
Entire global economy is facing headwinds, and every central banker has to recognize that. You have the deficit problem in the US that's not gone away. You have the Eurozone crisis. We're making some progress, but so far, given the stance of England and the need for individual countries to pass legislation, some of the stated decisions will still have to see the test of time. And therefore, we cannot ignore the possibility that the gradual decline in oil prices that we're seeing will continue. Now, a lot depends on whether that decline becomes a sharp fall of, say, 20–25%. In which case, obviously, for a country like Nigeria, there are vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities to the exchange rate, vulnerabilities to the foreign reserve position, and risks to government finance position. We've looked at all of that and the possibility of some transmission channel, say, for example, through the liability side on bank balance sheets, through government deficits on liquidity, or through the currency, foreign currency components of balance sheets of exchange rate risks, and we do have a clear understanding of what those risks are. Now, we are unfortunately in a situation in which what happens to the economy in the short term is dependent now less by what we do than by what happens in Europe.
We had three principal areas of focus: agric, power, and transport infrastructure. And our intervention basically was to advocate to government on the needed changes in terms of policy and the type of enabling environment required to stimulate investment and lending. Then we look inward and we look at the regulatory framework and see, whether it is appropriate, for the type of targets and objectives we've set for ourselves for the economy. And then we also look at operators and look at whether our approach and our capacity with regard to delivering, is adequate. We brainstormed around four areas, really. The issue of banking infrastructure, the issue of financial inclusion and sustainability. We also looked at monetary and fiscal policy, and we looked at banking regulation. Let's put it that the last two, monetary and fiscal policy and banking regulation, are the enablers, and infrastructure and financial inclusion is kind of the way how we are going to go about delivering some value to the economy in 2012 and beyond. Now, in terms of specific takeaways, things you can take home with you. If you look at financial inclusion, one of the things that we agreed to do is that using NERSAL, as well as the work that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is doing to get to improve the existing fertilizer subsidy system, we can use that to bring 5 million unbanked farmers into the banking sector using electronic payment means. That's one key takeaway. We are also looking at opportunities to tier the KYC requirements for opening bank accounts. So yes, if you want to open a bank account, that will do transfers, significant volumes of money, right? You have the highest KYC requirements. But if you are just opening a basic savings account, and we want to bring in, those who are excluded from the banking system, we have to simplify the requirements. So we are looking into that. That's going to be an early deliverable and dividend of 2012. So these are just examples of the many things that we brainstormed upon, by which we will introduce, into the Nigerian economy.